My apologies. Someday I will get over this. There we go. Now I am being heard. I am being seen. I am here with you. Not the best rollout in the world, but this is why we're still doing rehearsals. We're all learning together, everyone. And so, that was Sweetest Bean playing Eastward. Nice little cozy game time for a beautiful fall day. We hope wherever you are, your day is going well. It is an awesome Sunday, whether you go to church, whether you hang out at home, whether you just nurse that hangover from Saturday night, whatever you do, we hope you are doing it well. So, next on the list, we are going to be going to Mary Mitch whenever he is ready. Mary Mitch is an incredible streamer. He does something to me that is very novel, and he reads aloud to people. He plays adventure games, he preps D&D campaigns. He just does all kinds of fun stuff that is a little bit out of the norm. We're waiting to hear back from him to go straight to Mary Mitch. For the time being, though, check out these ads real quick and hang out.
I write, therefore I am. Daily writing my dreams into existence, creative, authentic, and passionate, because my voice matters. And these verses are necessary to survive. The Poetry Project amplifies and empowers youth voice while correlating spoken word poetry into the standard English and language arts curriculum. For more information, visit us at www.thepoetryproject.com.
That's right, it's happening again, the Triad Comic-Con. It's going down Sunday, November 14th from 10 to 6 p.m. Comics, artists, graphic novelists, cosplayers, and high-flying top rope action from Vivo Lucha Libre Wrestling, featuring Big Bite and his manager, Justice. He currently holds the NRLL champion belt. The international superstars, the Soul of the Sky, Blanco Loco, and his partner, Dreamdog Ellie, and Omar and Air, the current OVM champion. This is going to be a cosplay contest. This time around, there's two categories, one for the adults and one for the kids. There's even going to be a Magic the Gathering tournament. It's a modern format, sanctioned event, limited to 64 seats. So you want to come out once again. Sunday, November 14th, from 10 to 6 p.m. Tickets are only $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Be there at the Triad Comic-Con. For more information, you can go to www.triadcomiccon.org.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out through the ads. The ads in the long term are going to be a way for us to cut in all of our awesome streamers on a little bit of pay to compensate them for their valuable time. And it's super important to us that anybody who is good at something and provides their talent in the long run gets compensated for it. We are still waiting for Mr. Mary Mitch to get back to me. In the meantime, though, I went ahead and queued up some city skylines for us to enjoy. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on that. Here we go. I'm gonna get that just giving us nice views of the city for a moment while I queue us up a bit of music. Or not. Maybe it just won't do that. Yeah, bear with me for one sec. I'll get us some nice music running. So, in the city, for any of you who haven't seen me stream Skylines yet, I have a fun city going on. It is a European style city that I wanted to center on walkability first and foremost. The idea being that all the jobs are kind of central to all of the residential blocks. Here we go. A little bit of music. So yeah, all of the residential blocks have at the heart of them jobs. So you live on the outside here in the area that's in green, and you work in the middle. So theoretically, you should never have to cross town for a big commute. You should never have to live way outside of where the jobs are. No R1 residential suburban planning here, nothing like that. So, since the last time I had this pulled up, we've done a few major things. First and foremost, we have added this whole section here that is not part of this super block, which is the center of the actual main city, but is going to be kind of its own self-contained area that's going to reach out to this peninsula as it expands. The bigger and more impressive thing that we have done since the last time I've been on here is we solved a huge problem that we had with traffic. Traffic is still not great in the city, but it was getting to crippling lows because I just refused to put in car infrastructure because I didn't want cars. I was just being obstinate about it. That was foolish. So instead, I have created a much more expansive highway system. Before, it was just this stretch here that came down and connected to here and just ran out of the city. That was it. There was also this little side stretch that gave us access to this main city, and so that was causing a lot of the traffic problems. People were hopping into this main little corridor here as a means of accessing all of this and having to cross the bridges. And it was just clogging everything up. It was being a huge problem. So, my answer was this giant highway project. So you can see I built a highway all the way under, buried under Central Park. Most of this highway's infrastructure is buried so that it doesn't obstruct future building. And then I created 4 different exits along it to be like, no, fuck y'all. You're just gonna get off the highway near where you need to be. I'm sick of it. I connected up here so that in the future I can build this out as another outlet, and this can access the space up here because the city has a pretty good stretch up here that is semi-buildable. Not the flattest land, but we can work with it. Then, as we come down, it runs all the way under this mountain range, which I do want to develop into almost like a Medellin style city, complete with cable cars and such, stretching across the mountainscape. And then it connects down here to a multi-exchange that used to just be one straight shot, as I said. I have it looping down here. I want to create a harbor down here, so this highway is going to largely just function as a means to get freight in and out through our freight harbor. I don't think I probably will use any residential harbors. I may put one in. But yeah, they're just not very effective transportation if all of your other stuff is nice. If you have good intercity train, if you have good subway, if you have good conventional rail, buses, all of that. You don't really need the harbor. It costs a lot, and it just doesn't get that many people into the city. But this is going to be where our entire industrial harbor section is. Then you can see that what used to end here, this section used to only come here, and I had a few exits like right here and right here, which was just the messiest thing I've maybe ever made in this game. I got this all cleaned up, so we have a couple of exits coming down off the highway through the old city. We've got another exit up here into the old city, and we've even built an overpass exit here just at the north of the block. Oh god. So now we have exits galore. This is slowly but surely creeping our traffic rating up from what was a miserable like 55 to 60%. I think we are probably hovering around a 70 right now. Let's see. 75, everybody. 75%. This is getting on the verge of being non-problematic outside of super packed single junctures. The goal for this is 80% for me generally. I've found that like you're just gonna have some places that cause enough congestion that anything above 80% is extra credit. If you can get it to 90%, then you're just an actual city planner. Like you're managing all your stoplights very intricately. You're doing all that stuff. For me, I just don't deem that as super necessary. But we have a few major projects on the horizon now. As you can see, none of my meters that indicate how much demand for zoning are really popping out right now. So I don't have a huge urge to build. You can also see in this area, there's still a lot of blocks. While it's looking pretty packed, there's still a lot of residential blocks, some commercial. But all of the industrial is taken. So whenever we build again, that's going to be the first thing that we're going to have to build for probably is more industrial zoning. Both for my city's needs in terms of goods. You can see here I'm importing in this purple section a huge amount of just consumer goods into the city, which are really easily handled through commercial zoning. I don't have any exports as of yet. My city is consuming every bit of what it produces and then some. We don't have any specialized industrial sections yet, which is why we have such a big number here for our total imports and such a diverse pie chart. So our industry is not producing enough goods to meet the needs of the commercial sector. But then in turn, industry is not getting the sheer goods it needs in city to produce across the board. So everybody's having to import stuff in. What is being made here is still needing importing done to get it made. This isn't quite a problem yet. We're hovering around 183,000. By the time we get to 250,000 though, we're going to want at least a couple of specialized industrial zones built in, which is usually going to come through creating an entire little satellite town. I like to create the feel of smaller, like kind of timber towns, mining towns around my major city, and then just make sure they have all of the industrial transportation infrastructure, they need to succeed. Sorry, bear with me for 1 second. Not many people in the chat to tell me how I'm sounding. I'm realizing my mic is maybe a little too low. Handling that. I think that's a little bit better now. Yeah. Thank you all for bearing with me. In all honesty, I did not expect to be coming on in this slot. I was kind of waiting on my friend Mitch to pop in, but it seems like he may very well not be able to join us today. So it's sad for all of us, just for his streaming prowess, but I'm here with you for now. We're talking cities, we're talking city planning, we're talking goals for my city of ports here. My European style super block city. I love the views once you get down to just above the buildings. I think it has a really charming touch and feel to it. We have a couple of main streets building. The great thing about these diagonals is you can build along them. So I'm building this street here out to be essentially a little industrial district. One of the few places that are going to actually have a significant skyline form outside of the mid-high rise, high residency European style housing we have here. So we have a few things built here in between this stretch from the Grand Mall to the Cathedral of Plentitude, just to be capitalist as fuck about it. So my next immediate goals, since I don't have to build zoning, as we covered earlier, are a metro system, completing my Central Park, or my wraparound Grand Park, which runs from down here at this point all the way up through here. This is all going to be designated park space with both prefabbed parks and me just adding in trees, walking paths, that kind of stuff. So if y'all have any preferences, drop in the chat and let me know. For now, I'm just going to run through and check all of the crucial elements to make sure we are not short on anything here. So we can see here our garbage. We are having a problem up here, even though we should have more or less solid connectivity. I think it's just how far out it is from this one spot. Since we do intend to build into this flat plane here, I think it's probably fine for us to go ahead and put another recycling center right here. I love the recycling centers. I don't think they're a default asset. I think you get them off the workshop if I'm not mistaken. They're a little bit broken. They have some incredible processing capacity. They don't put out any power though, like a typical incinerator does. But the big thing, zero pollution. It is one of the only trash options that doesn't cause a problem for any residents living nearby, or an eyesore for like your commercial area. Being able to plop them kind of anywhere frees you up more crucial space in your industrial sectors that you have to keep relocated from your citizens. So every bit of the space we can save in these central blocks where our industrial space is crucial, so that we can really maximize the industrial output of our industrial sectors. Industrial. So that's taken care of. Everything else in the city looks like it's pretty well covered. We're not having any flare-ups, just that corner. So, hospitals, everything's looking pretty peachy. We have a little bit of a service gap up north here, and because, like I said, with the other spot, we are going to be building up into these nice flat areas around, this whole region is going to be covered in a similar grid of city. We're going to go ahead and plop another hospital up here to fill that coverage gap. And we have lots of holes for things like elder care. We have no elder care up in this district yet, and senior care. But they are definitely kind of tertiary concerns. It's nothing so pressing. I like to pop those things whenever I'm hitting some kind of slump, like if my population is really going down and nothing I'm building is bringing it up. I love to pop those extra tertiary perks. Or if my finances are dropping and I need just like a way to try to shock development back into action. Those extra services a lot of times can get your commercial and infrastructure, or and your commercial and production base really going again. Get those buildings upgrading and reoccupied. Bear with me for 1 second, everybody. I just realized I never updated the title of this after Sweetest Bean hopped off. Hats off to Sweetest Bean. Love that lady. Love that she has joined us on the streaming network to fill the cozy game slot. We look forward to having her on for a lot more. Alright guys, sorry about that. Just had to get that updated real quick. Should be saying that I'm playing cities now, so no one's hopping on looking for Eastward and gets horribly disappointed when they have my not very cute ass playing a not very cute dry city simulator game. So not worrying about those things. We do have to worry about death care because we don't want bodies in the streets. It's not that metal of a city. Fire. Fire good unless it's your house. Then fire bad. This little section here kind of worries me, so I'm going to just go ahead and drop an extra fire station right behind the line. Hopefully that kind of fills that out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and start running the city too, because there's not really any pressing urges, it seems, that should prevent me from doing so. So, police, all looks good. In fact, we are significantly over-policed. We have jails for days. Crime's very low. Schools! Always such a huge budgetary item in this game. So this is mostly business stuff. I think that gap is probably fine. You can see up here, it shows a lot of red. That is places of need. It doesn't necessarily demonstrate a need for you to put more schools there. So this kind of shows that all this new development is families. Which certainly would make sense. Let's look at the demographics. Yeah, so you can see the green is mostly families. So this is all new young families that have moved in. They have babies. They have the sweet babies. And they need elementary schools. So that's what this chart is reflecting. Is those are just all those young families that need some education. Whereas you can see in all these other regions, there's not many that have young kids using the school system, it seems. It seems like everybody is pretty well good except for the newer districts, as you can see. So high schools, we're looking pretty good too. Lots of red. Everybody needs to go to high school in the new districts, apparently. So that'll improve with time as they go to high school. Traffic, humming along fine, 75%. We can all live with that. We're getting some congestion at exits off the highways, but not as much as I would expect. The highways are overall flowing really freely, which is nice. Before we had backups all the way out here to get in and all the way out here to get in. It was just bringing the whole city's traffic rating down so much. So it's a nice reprieve. just running through a few more meters. You can see this is a noisy city. I really wanted the residential areas to be a little bit quieter, but there's just enough of an overlap that it's hard to escape. It's hard to escape the noise. That looks good. Transit. We've been wanting our buses numbers to go up because this city got buses. Buses, 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 buses. There is a major fault in that I don't have many protected bus lanes. So oftentimes buses have to move at the pace of traffic. It's like a major problem that we have in North American cities that European cities oftentimes solve. But we definitely struggle with it here and here in the city of Ports. So I think we're going to start with the metro. I think it's a good attainable goal. We can go ahead and get a line in. Actually, no, I'm being wishy-washy. Fuck that. We're starting with the park because I'm tired of having this awkward looking unplanned space running through the middle here. I think we can go ahead and get some paths in. So with the park, we have lots of different options for pre-built parks. We have the 4 base that they start with and a few more little fun things like this. We've got Canal Parks, which I would very much like to put a whole series of canals down the middle. I feel like it could be a cool look. We have some of the smaller random parks here, and even more random parks. So we have a ton of options to fill this out. We like consistency. So I think I gotta start first and foremost with the canal, of course. So we're just gonna start from an even edge. Uh-oh. That's gonna be a bit fucking awkward, eh, bud? Won't let me plop there. Oh well, it can have a little break to it. It's fine, it goes underground. That's what we'll say. Fuck it. Ooh yeah, fits right up to the edge. Love that. And yeah, I'm gonna have this row of canals like running essentially as far as the geography makes sense. At a certain point, this whole park starts to slope up dramatically. And I actually had to do this once already. I got everything built out, and then the power failed, and lost it all. So, doing part of this from memory, but yeah, once we start getting... Yeah, this is... really the last block. We'll go ahead and add 3 squares here. But then it starts to slope up in a weird way. It already kind of looks weird because of the side slope here. But I'm okay with that. I just want the canal. I don't really mind. See, isn't that nice? Little cafes, walkability. Adds a whole other stretch that isn't Chester Street for people to walk along in the park so they don't have to fuck with cars. So that's nice. We're gonna go ahead and get this big ass antenna out of our park. We don't need this here. In fact, we're gonna put this where a tower belongs up here. We're gonna hunt down a source of power for it. Bingo. So now, this will be where it belongs, up on top of a big hill, not awkwardly in the middle of our central park. And, give me 1 second, I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively reach out to our next streamer to make sure I'm not staying on with y'all even longer. Which is fine. I'm having a great time. I'm hoping y'all are having a great time. It's a beautiful fall Sunday here in wonderful Durham, North Carolina. You are here with King Geekera in the Three Attic Entertainment control room itself, where I stream anytime there is need for me to in the midst of these streams. Theoretically, allegedly, hypothetically, at 1 o'clock, your featured entertainment is going to be the one and only Couch Soldier. I just reached out to him. Hopefully, he will be good to go, no problem. But for now, you're here with me, King Geekera, playing City Skylines. How are people doing in chat? Let me see some people hop on there. Let me get a roll call. Are any of our other Three Attic streaming network homies hanging out with us here today? Let me know. Let me know how my hair looks. So we got the canals in. Looks pretty fly. Next, we're going to work with some pre-built parks. We're going to put sunken plazas in on both sides of the opera here. Everybody liked that. Smiley faces all around. What is this? An aqua fun park. Well, that has to go in somewhere, right? It's a motherfucking aqua fun park. Let's put it next to the Sky Tree. Why not? This is a whole little packed region of entertainment right as you enter the park. I think that's a good look. Instantly elevates the park value of everything around it. What a good park. And do we happen to have an arboretum in here already? I'm not seeing one. Yeah, I think that gives us room for one without being gaudy. Where should it go, though? This whole little region's getting packed. We have the opera on this. We have the sports complex here. This will work. I think it's a good central point to this block. And while we're at it, we'll go ahead and find an awesome central point to this final major block of the city park. If you see anything in chat that intrigues you, any buildings that I'm flashing by, anything that you want some elaboration on, let me know. Let's check out our special buildings. Let's see if we have anything here worthwhile. Let's put our NASA launch site here. That makes sense. Nothing in this tab. What is this? A luxury hotel. Nah, we don't really need that in the middle of our park. Driving range. It's gonna be too steep there. That plays. Actually, now let's put it a little bit closer over here with the actual sports complex. So yeah, now we have this whole little sports complex coming together. We got the driving range here. We got 2 track and field sites. We've got tennis courts for days. We've got basketball courts for days. I saw a skate park. Let's get a skate park in here, you know? What's this? A riding stable? What? Okay, yeah. Can we get the riding stable in here? I believe in us. Yes. So let's go ahead and move this other tennis complex up top. And we have riding stables in the park. Oh, that looks like shit. What happened there, eh? You're just gonna fall beneath the road. Huh. Huh. How about that? Well, yeah, let's not pay attention to that. It's just that cursed incline. You know, it's the little things. Sweetest Bean, thank you for reaching out. I tried by phone as well. So I'm hoping Mitch is doing well, is all good over in his happy part of the world. You are here with me, King Gikura. City Skylines, the city of ports, building a central park complex, which is on a slant, which the more I look at it, looks dumber and dumber every time. Look at all my people running around. They're gonna love this park, dude. They're gonna love it when it's done. Skate park, though. It'll be the last touch to our kind of sports and exercise block. Let's see how dumb this looks on this slope. It's on the lower end of the slope, so yeah, that's actually not bad at all. Given that it's a skate park, it's, you know, I get it. When we get all the trees in and everything, it'll stick out a little less. Awesome, and I have confirmation it is indeed true. Believe the hype. Couch Soldier is going to be with us at 1 o'clock. So stick with us, and we are going to be set for him coming on board with us at 1. I'll be on with you until then. Couch, yeah, it is definitely a high organization game. There are a lot of plates that you have to juggle at any given time. This perfectly itches so much brain parts for me. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I do a lot of kind of God mode top-down gaming. I also love Civ. I love Hoi 4. Anything with just way more intricacy than is necessary to play the game, I'm here for it. And Lube Coobs, I agree. I'm so excited to have Couch on here. We weren't able to get him in on our first network technical rehearsal. So we're excited to have him on for his first official 3-Attic network on-stream appearance. So we just completed the exercise and sports block. We have a botanical garden here that's going to be anchoring this next set of blocks. We just want it to be pretty, you know? Flowers, gardens. Shit like that. What we got here? We got a dog park. Love dogs. Love dogs. Need dogs. We don't deserve them. Playground, like kids less, but I understand why they're here. I used to begrudge them in my youth, and now I at least understand their necessity. No, they can't hold a job. No, they don't really drop Billboard top 100 hits. They're useless in helping you fix a car. But I get the appeal. Get a bouncy house here too, just right next to it. Just let them eat their fucking heart out. And we'll flank the botanical garden with some nice Japanese gardens. Really extenuate the whole thing. Don't pay attention to the off-ramp from the underground highways on both sides of the park, everybody. Disregard it. Like I said before, once we cover everything in trees, it'll look a lot nicer. Super excited for your stream today, Lube. Lube Coobs is in a similar position as Couch, where they are two of the people that I am most stoked about seeing stream for the network, and we weren't able to get either of them on for the first technical stream. Lube Coob's graphics card or motherboard went out. Computer failed one way or another. Rest in power. And so I'm so stoked to see both of y'all's streams tonight. So this block has pretty much everything we need in it. We're going to be running walking paths and bicycling paths and such all the way through this whole complex. So we've got to leave some room for those paths to wind their way through. And this brings us to the final main block of the park before it'll just become paths cutting through this beautiful mountainous area. I want to hike this just looking at it right now. I would hike this. Can you imagine the LA-like views you'll get at the top up here, especially once the rest of the city is built out all the way along this ridge? Ooh, gorgeous. And this is my area that's going to be my little miniature Medellin. So in the end, this is going to be the hottest view in the entire city, overlooking a bunch of expansion through the valley all the way to the ocean. Ah, thank you, LubeCube. I updated the description, not the game. Amateur mistake. Updated. Thank you kindly, sir. Noise pollution everywhere. People dying from it. This is why we need park space, so people can get away from the sounds of the main city. So this last block, I have no idea. Does anybody have any ideas for how this should finish out? I almost feel like it should be one nice big monument on both sides of the road here at the end. The Twin Towers. Let's put the World Trade Center at the end of the park. We have a planetarium, but that should be closer to the top of the mountain, just for the sake of the scientists. Courthouse and tax office in the park, boring. Fancy ass French motel, unfortunately, it will not look right without abutting buildings. What do we got? What do we got? Another observatory. Gotta put it on top of the mountain. Grand Library. What does this look like? Oh. That could actually be perfect. Viewers at home, remember that. Two statues facing each other. Beautiful. This is right in line with what I'm looking for. So yeah, let's get the two statues facing each other. I have several options for the statues. I like the Grand Library there. Can we get another grand building there? We've got a Theater of Wonders. A Theater of Wonders and a modern art museum. So, yeah, unfortunately, the Theater of Wonders will not fit the fine art museum. We can, the slope's too steep. I can soften it a touch and get that in there. So yeah, I like the idea. We're gonna do two statues over here on this side, and then we're gonna have the art museum here. And the Grand Library next to it. Where did my Grand Library go? Here we go. So yeah. Grand Library. Here we are. We're going to soften this terrain a touch. Looks like it'll only soften to a certain extent because of the roads. Let's see if that little bit was enough to get our Theater of Wonders here. If I will ever find it again. Here we are, here we are. Yes! Yes! Okay. So that is a great end cap. And now we're going to plop our statues. I believe I have several options for statues. I have to hunt them down across my assets. A lot of times, Steam Workshop creators get really creative about how they classify things. So things will wind up in really weird spots that you just don't expect them to be in. Let's see, so there's one statue. Do I have another? Nah. Yeah, let's do the horses on both sides facing each other. So how's this? Haha! I can dig it. Lube, thank you. Yeah, you're right, Lube. They are 1 hour apiece. Just for today, for the sake of this rehearsal. And yeah, speaking of, we are coming up on the end of my section here. My impromptu City Skylines session. So yeah, just bear with us a little bit longer, and we'll be able to go ahead and get you on your merry way to hang out with Couch. What the fuck is happening here? Wow. Just wow. I heard you like buses? Why? Why are there so many buses here? I know I don't have so many lines here. What the hell is happening? Oh well. So yeah, we have our end cap here. It doesn't answer a question for the final block, but if anything, maybe because of the end caps, we don't need anything special in this final block. Not to take from the majesty of the end caps. What is this? A castle? What? Oh, well. No, that solves it. We're putting a fucking castle in the park. Why? Why would I ever do anything but put a fucking castle in the park? Duh. Alright, yeah. Sorry. I got a little excited for that. And I am seeing some pretty distinct traffic pop up here. This is a big backup. People are really trying to get into this city. So that will have to be solved another day. I'm really not fucking concerned right now. But yeah, this whole little corner right before you get to the park is little problematic. Looks worse than it is though, I suppose. Except for these buses. I see broken lines here though, so some of these buses are probably just struggling so hard to figure out where the hell to go. Yeah, so we have a castle here, and that's about all we really need. We're gonna put some parks around it, and then I'm honestly gonna call it a day and sign off. All of you beautiful fucking people. What do we got? Park with trees. Slope too steep. Let's get one there. Will you let me put one here? Slope's too steep. Slope's too steep. Slope is too steep. Yeah. That's the thing, is once we get down to this end, everything starts going uphill, and our buildable options diminish greatly. Let's get a fucking... No, I don't want to take from the grandeur of that with a fucking bouncy house. Alright, we are almost done here. Let's get another dog park in here, because like I said, I just fucking love dogs. And we can get the bouncy castle up on this side too. Beautiful. We've cut a lot of power lines off here. Let me make sure the city actually has power. I think it's transmitting across the buildings. Yeah, beautiful. Alright guys, well, we didn't quite get across the finish line, but this is a lot more occupied than it used to be. Next time around, we'll be building in all kinds of paths through this, so pedestrians have really clear ways to navigate that aren't along the main road through it. And we'll be finding a way to connect it through this super dense forest I built to the rest of the South Park. But for now, this is Ports. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Like I said, I did not know that I'd be coming on at this slot, but it's been a real pleasure. I'm super excited tonight to get to go see some of my favorite podcasters hopefully perform at the Durham Theater, last podcast on the left. That's what I'm excited about. I hope all of y'all have something that you're excited about. Drop it in the chat, whatever you have going on in your life. Please stay with us to support these other streamers. Sweetest Bean was on before me. Was an absolute great time. Next we have The Couch Soldier coming hot at you. Go ahead and like and follow 3Attic. Go ahead and give a like and follow to all of our talented streamers who come on with us today. Love you all. Hope you're having a great day. And yeah. Peace.